on Coleman. Count on Coleman. If your world is looking strange, you can count on Coleman for change.
Hello, Baton Rouge. Here we are in District 10. I say welcome back to the Coleman Cares podcast, where our goal is to educate people. And we know that when you know better, you do better, and no excuse if you have been educated and knowledgeable of what's going on or what's to come. And so I am grateful this time to have with me Kemp, Pastor Kemp. He's the pastor of Greater Antioch Baptist Church, but also in our community. He's a community man that's concerned about much that deals with our youth, deal with our seniors as well. Just say deal with the people. And so I am grateful to have him here today in the studio with us. And today we're going to talk about, first he's going to tell you who he is, what he wants the viewers to know about who he is, and then we will go on with the next part there. So, Reverend Kemp.
Good evening, Council Lady.
Good evening.
And good evening to each and everyone who are listening in. It's a blessing to speak to you today. My name is Reverend Kemp. I'm the director of United Theological Seminary and Bible College. I love my community. I love my people. And I'm here to advance the African American community in the best way that I possibly know how. And that's through love and a white community awareness. I'm an activist, but I'm a pastor too. And for love for the community is why I'm here. Mm-hmm. And I know about the love that you have for the community. That's something that we share. And whatever I can do to better our community, from crime to community awareness of the things that's going on, I'm here to stand up for our community.
And I tell you what, that aligns with our mission here at in this Baton Rouge, in this space, to just let the people know what is going on and just how they can really be a part of it, get involved. You know, a lot of folks just want to run their mouths, but not be a part of the solution. And so we want to make sure that we're on record to letting them know about what's going on and how they can be involved. And with me knowing you, and I've known you for a while there, you have always been one about the business of making folk know about what's going on. Now, I know that there had been a conversation with you and our recreation facility, the BREC organization that's here in Baton Rouge. And I know that you're concerned with our park system. And so why don't you talk to the folk and let us know about where that has begun, what you've done, and what you expect to see.
Well, I've been aware for quite some time of the discrepancies and disparities in recreation centers in the inner city and in suburbia is totally different. I was able last November 2024 to be at a meeting in which during that time the commissioner over BREC was Mr. Curry Wilson, and he showed graphs about the disparity where the money was going, and the money that BREC was spending was going out in suburbia, out in the outskirts of the city of Baton Rouge into the outer parts of the parish. Nevertheless, in the urban areas, we pay taxes too, but we don't get the bang for our bucks. We don't get what we pay for. And years ago, when our other city council lady was in, I went around and I took pictures of the different parks, and I brought it in, but it never was pushed the way it should have been, in the disparities in the different equipment and amenities and facilities that they had on the outskirts of town. And I was here recently. It was before August 18th, and they had a meeting. BREC came here, and I addressed. Her name is Janet Simmons. She's been appointed just for temporarily to head BREC, and I began to discuss things with her. But one thing I noticed, they had a young lady here, I'm not going to call her name. She tried to get the mic away from me because I was addressing the disparity, and I asked her not to put her hand on the mic, allow me to speak. Because the problem is, with the African American community, we'll get in little groups and talk, but we never go out and into the meetings and express our feelings about what's going on and let individuals know that you're not playing fair. It's not holistic. What you're doing over in one area, you're giving them millions and millions of dollars, but when you come with us, you give thousands. And we deserve to be treated fairly, and it's time that we stand up. You know, I was down, did a wedding, and it really hurt my feelings. I went to sign, my niece got married, and it was this plantation. I forgot the name, but when I went there, they had a large table. But when I looked down at the legs of it, it was black slave with a table on their back. It was carved. And I thought about the saying, it's until we stand up, the game is over. And until we come together and stand up, they're going to have to stop playing games with us. Give us what we deserve. I want to tell you something. You know, I go back in South Baton Rouge quite some time.
Yes.
I remember they had lights, they had bleachers, they played baseball and softball right in Brooks Park. They had a concrete building where you could get your ping pong table, you could get your box hockey, your horseshoes, and all this stuff could be playing right there. They don't have anything. A lift swing with two small swings and a sliding board, and I was showing Miss Will. About 6 people could get on this little aluminum thing. That's it. And then the lie was that they was making the swimming pool better so they could teach more individuals swimming lessons. Well, if you make something smaller, how can that's impossible. And out of everything, when I go to meetings, I don't like a person to talk to me like I am ignorant. Like they speak to us, a lot of times we're spoken to as though we're ignorant, and we don't say anything. It's like we living in 1940, 30, or 20 where you're afraid to open your mouth. And until you open your mouth, you know, silence is agreement. And I cannot be silent. No one could ever silence me.
And you said that you did a disparity study.
Yes, I
Talk about who you shared that with, what it entailed. I know you've talked about it a little bit, but who did you share that with, and how was that conversation?
Well, after the meeting that was here in the Butler Center, Ms. Janet Sims offered to have breakfast with me at Lewis down by LSU. And I agreed to have breakfast with her. And I thought about it. I said, before I have breakfast, I wanted to compose this disparity document, which I gave her a copy of the disparity of it, where I took photos. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
That's right.
And I could show her better than I can tell her. When you give me a swing on this side and a sliding board in a little park, and I go see 12 tennis courts, I see a croquet park, which African Americans don't play.
Yes.
A dog park taking up half a city park now. a golf course with 98% of individuals you that are Caucasian. And so there's nothing for blacks there. If you look at Park Boulevard, on one side is Caucasian and the other side is African American. Well, their African American yard is right there with City Park, but it's nothing there for them. It's nothing. And everything, with even a simple thing as a gymnasium, and they had this thing that said, we don't want to build this gym because you know who's going to come. And that they knew how to systemically mark us out of City Park. They call it BREC City Park, but there's no way you could ever tell me that that's BREC City Park. We had baseball games, softball game. We had where they could play at night. We had all these things was right over in Brooks Park. So what I'm looking at right now is someone taking us further back than the 60s. I'm looking at someone going so far back that we're going backwards instead of forward. We said integration and everything's supposed to integrate and make things better. But this is what I contemplated. This is something that I wrote up when I took this out to meet with Ms. Sims. I showed her the different parks in the African American community and the ones in that was out in suburbia. And I say the following document presents the comprehensive analysis of a significant disparity that exists within Baton Rouge Recreation Park Commission, BREC, system throughout East Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana. This report will demonstrate thoroughly detailed, examine, and comparison how parks situated in the inner city neighborhood consistently lack the quality, amenities, recreation features, and essential services that are readily available in parks located within the parish, more affluent suburban community. Throughout the systematic documents and analysis, this study revealed a troubling pattern of unequal resources allocated that directly impact the recreational opportunities and qualities of life for residents based on their geographic location within the parish, highlighting the urgent need for equitable investments and development across all BREC communities, regardless of neighborhood, demographic, or economic status. And what I did was I showed all the different amenities. I took pictures of Fall Park. Like I said earlier, blacks don't know anything about equestrian riding. BREC have 45 horses. You'll never know them because they never used to come for our kids to ever use them. That's Fall Park, and they use part of that BREC Park for LSU to park their SUVs during football game. That's Fall Park. That's down River Road. Now, if you go to Highland Park, they have all kind of ceramic, the needle printing, karate, all different type things that's taught there. And also, they have observatory. The poor kids cannot get there. They're not exposed to different things, but yet they're trying to say our kids are behind, and it's systemically making them behind. They have archery. They have all these different things at these other parks. I would like for somehow inner city kids to go and see Saturn. I would like them to be able to have different parks with things that they can play. And not tell me that we say we don't have a gym, they tell us McKinley Middle Magnet share as a gym for BREC. Well, when school is on, no one could use it. When school is closed, the janitors are cleaning the building up. Correct. No one could use it. So don't talk to me like I'm ignorant. And that's what we allow them to do. You go further out, I've never seen a park, and I did extensive traveling like the one that we have out there by Kenilworth, Olympic Field. They have rooms that you could have all types of meeting. About 2 different gymnasium, one for basketball. They have indoor volleyball. They have the weightlifting. They have sand volleyball. They have the velodrome. They have wall climbing, mountain bike riding. You name it. It's all right out there. But our kids have to ride about 5, 6, or 7 miles by bicycle, the poor kids, to even get to use something that our taxpayer dollar. You know, I went around and seen all these. They have parks that's nothing but soccer fields and lakes to fish. They have fishing things to bring the kids out. But it's so far out, the poor kids can't go. I remember many years ago as a kid, they did have fishing rodeos right at City Park. They don't have that anymore. They call it City Park, but it's areas you can't park, which is for the city. So anyway it goes, that we've been X'd out of so many things. So I met with Miss Janet Simmons, and I showed her pictures of just with everything that I've been addressing to you, the different parks and how beautiful they are and the amenities. And you give us a park under the expressway with several times. I remember going years ago, they had cows running around because one fell off. Meat fell off there whenever the load shift, but that's where our kids have to play. And then you have 5 parking places in the front of the gym. You have a door when you first walk in. They have where who's ever the director sitting, a gymnasium. No place for nothing to be taught or anything else. But you go in suburbia, they have different things for the kids to play and do, and even different things for the adults to come in. Oh, you could do ceramic painting and all sorts of things, karate. They have all these things, but our kids don't have anything. And this is my fight. Yes. This is my fight that they would do it holistically. Whatever you have, you give it to me. We're not asking for anything above what you have.
That's right.
Just do it equally with me.
That's right. And you've definitely done your homework. And when you talked about Expressway Park, and even when it becomes dark, you've got to pay extra. The children that are practicing football and whatever is out there in the dark. And so when I reached out to find out about why the lights aren't on, someone said something about the shining of the lights, what it will do when people are driving on the interstate. I said, well, that doesn't make sense to me. And become blind. And I said, but what about these children out here having to practice football, and the coaches and all, bunch of children out here in the dark. And so then I talked with them, and they were told that they had to pay extra to have the lights on. And to me, that is ludicrous right there. And as you mentioned before, everybody's a taxpayer. I don't care how we want to cut it. Everybody are taxpayers, and that it ought to be that word again, equity. Equity ought to be there, equal wherever you go and whatever and it's all under the same umbrella. I know also that there are some parks that are being underutilized. There are some that are not up to par. And I know you've done your homework because your pictures show it and your conversation show it. I have a concern too with Kerwarren Park that's over there in that Dixie area. And so you don't open it until a certain time. Then you put people in there to operate it that are not child friendly. You've got to know how to interact with these young people, and you cannot bring outsiders in to do inside jobs. And so that's another concern there. The other thing is so many of them don't even have air conditioning, and that's just like buying a school bus here in Baton Rouge at this time and no air on it. That is crazy to me. But some of these BREC facilities, no air. And so I know that at this point here, that what they are doing is taking a look at taking a look at all of these facilities now, and that may have come about because of the conversation and because of in and out of the communities talking with individuals about this. And so this is definitely something of utmost importance. And I agree with you. Yes, the children do like to play basketball, but we need a bit more than basketball.
Correct.
And then we are definitely we're paying tax money. We're paying money. So I agree with you on that. And so I guess my next question is, what do you recommend? And you are to be applauded for being an activist, for speaking out. And I hope out there that many of you all join in this conversation and doing something. You know, we say that we all about the children and what we want. So I'd like to appeal to you all out there and see what it is that you can do to help this cause. And I know that the more of those kind of facilities that we have is going to do something with some of the juvenile crime, because they're going to have something to do. You're going to have oversight of the right people in these facilities. And so I just want to thank you for all that you're doing in order to make this real in our communities. And yes, these are our communities, and we've got to be active in these communities. There are a lot of organizations out there, and you all have all the galas and all the banquets and all the dances and all of this. But you cannot forget the children that are in need of just some simple services here that we're talking about, and take a stand on right. What is right? If Spike Lee didn't say anything else, he talked about just do the right thing. And if you do the right thing, then right will come to you all out there. And you all know who you are.
I totally agree with you. There's so much more that we could do other than basketball and gymnasium. I sort of addressed some of these things that what I found at Perkins Road Park. They had a plethora of amenities not available to the inner city. They had multiplicity of programs, featured events, extreme sports facility. Next to the gym is another for extreme sport. Cooperative sponsors, velodrome, stadium, volleyball facility, sand volleyball, a recreation center, community park. They have all quilting, and they have so many things. Kids could go there and be tutored in the evening. They have these things. We don't have the amenity. Our kids are lacking because we don't have it. They can go in and shoot a basketball, and then the facilities are antiquated. I doubt seriously if Expressway Park Gym, I remember even back when I was going there, they did not have air.
Yes,
and
that's
if you
correct.
sat in the front, I remember Mr. Thomas was running that facility. They don't have it. We lack the basic amenity. We lack the programs, and we're under-resourced in our areas. The resources are not there for our children. They say our children are getting in crime. Well, if the children had places they could go in the evening, the crime wouldn't be the way it is. I was speaking earlier, and this is a little bit other way, but I don't like to hear people talk about crime because we never address the root of crime as poverty. Mm-hmm. And if we could continue to do 725 hours, you're going to have crime. If anyone just Google, you'll find 60% of the crime come from poverty. 60% of in poverty breeds crime, no matter what color you are, what country you are in, you find poverty, you're going to find crime. So I don't think we address it the correct way. And with this is another form. It's still a part that we haven't received what we need to, and it's time that we quit. I've already told them taking crumbs. I think I addressed that at McKinley High School about McKinley not getting their correct amount of funds that Baton Rouge High and Liberty High School got received. So my thing is about they've been giving us crumbs. It's time that we stand up and say we don't want the crumbs. We want it equitable. We want everything to be holistical. Whatever the approach to it, we want everything that you have. We want the same thing. And we think of our children as being very important. That's an important asset to our community. And we want to make winners out of our kids.
Yes, big word right there. Winners, yes indeed. So tell the audience what they can do to help improve this equity in these parks. What do you appeal to them? What do you think that they would need to do in order to make this thing real and for our children?
It is my opinion that we need to come together as a group. Unity is the best thing that we can ever do, is unity, and come with one united cause. No big eyes, little you, and we have to quit trying to have one person think they're leader. We're not working to lift ourselves. We're working for our community. Until we put ourselves on the back burner and put the children first and push for the children, I don't want any exposure, anything. When I go to meetings, I go on my own. I'm by myself and I speak. I'm not going to speak until I study it out, so I won't sound stupid. Yes. But I think that we need to come together and unite and have a united front. I've been told by Miss Janet Sims that she would like me to come up with 5 things she would like, that I would like to see happen with Brooks Park. But I think she missed the whole conversation was, I grew up in South Baton Rouge, and I love City Park. Yes. I grew up playing in City Park. But I'm African Americans, and if they suffer in Scotlandville, if they suffer in Banks, or they suffer in Eden Park, then I suffer too. It's time. It's not being selfish. It's about helping all, reaching all. And when I said that about holistic, I try to reiterate it. What you do for one, you do for all. And that's my approach. And yes, I'll meet with her, and I'm going to meet with her tomorrow. Matter of fact, it's October the 3rd. I have a meeting, luncheon with her, and some others with BREC. I guess they're going to show me things they're going to do, but it was on the 18th of August when it was before the 18th. I had breakfast with her on the 18th of August. But before then, it was meeting right in the Butler Center that I addressed the needs, and they did not want me to say what I was saying. They tried to cut me off, but I refused to give up the mic because I was exposing their negligence in our community.
And so you've heard it, Baton Rouge, I'm going to say, not just District 10. You've heard the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth that's going to help all of us. And so before we go off the air, and we want to just just put a little sweetness with something. Liebert Kemp Jr., who's your son, he is the chief arson investigators, one of the first young men that I met when I first came here to the Leo S. Butler Center. And so there's a big day coming up for Mr. Liebert Jr. So share with us what is there with Mr. Liebert Kemp Jr.
My son's about to retire, and he's 53. He's been very, very good with his money, and he's been very good. I was confused about him because he had a degree in college, but he wanted to go with the fire department. And when I confronted him about it, he said, well, Dad, this is what I like to do. But I told him some things, and he really listened at me. I said, well, if that's what you're going to do, you take the courses where you could move up. And before you know it, he was in LSU for fire science. He graduated from there, and he learned with those different, the going these different when the vehicles turn over and they have the toxic material. He learned, he was that. He was over the rescue team, and he went on up, and now the chief arson investigator, in which if anyone would look up, in 2014, he was the top arson investigator in the whole state of Louisiana.
Wow.
And the first black to be the top arson investigator. So he's about to retire. And to be just honest, I'm just proud of him.
Yes.
He graduated from McKinley High School,
There
my
you go.
alma mater.
That's correct.
And he also, our alma mater.
Yeah.
And Southern University, too, he graduated
Yes.
from. And I'm proud of him. I'm just so proud.
And really saying that, when we do well with our children, we just want the same thing for other folk children. Yeah. And so I know that's where you sit, and I want you to know that the community appreciate you. Everybody is not called to do what you do. Everybody doesn't know how to stand up and do without fear, but we appreciate you taking a stand, being on record for our children, for our community. And so you all have it. You all heard it. And here it is, Pastor Levert Kemp. And Pastor is the pastor of Greater Antioch Baptist Church. And so if you all want to get a good word and hear some realness, you all need to get there and see him. And you can contact him at 225-436-6000. Or the email address is LKLIONOF. That's LK Lion of Judah at yahoo.com. You see it there on the screen, so it's no way to not making your way over there and seeing the one and only Pastor Levert Kemp Jr. So I say thank you. And again, we hope that you have learned something today and you're going to do something with it. And remember, Coleman cares.
Count on Coleman. Count on Coleman. If your world is looking strange, you can count on Coleman for change.